A warm welcome to all of you, and I thank you for taking the time to attend today's workshop. My name is Tom Jose, and I work in the marketing section of Manage Engine team. And today's workshop will be taken by me. I hope my voice is audible and the display is well and clear. If not, please let us know in the chat provided. Now this is the third workshop that is being conducted in the ADSelfService Plus workshop series. The first workshop was conducted on password reset, and the second one was on the password synchronizer feature. And today's agenda, as put up in the slide, will be covering the feature enrollment of the ADSelfService Plus and how to ensure 100% enrollment for password self-service using the various enrollment options available. For those of you who are new to this workshop series, let me start with what exactly is ADSelfService Plus and what does it do. ADSelfService Plus is a secure, web-based end-user password reset management program. This software reduces the most critical password tickets, which consumes a substantial amount of help desk time, by rendering a secure, reliable, and robust web-based self-service solution to the end user. The end user can manage his passwords by himself and also update his personal details in Active Directory with ease. And today's topic, that is enrollment, is a vital feature of ADSelfService Plus because it provides an identity verification for the end user within the program to do the tasks which I had just mentioned. As you can see, this workshop will show you the following: how to schedule and send enrollment notification to domain users to enroll. Then I'll show you the enrollment process and how end users enroll after receiving the enrollment notification. Then if the above methods for enrollment fails, then I'll show how you as the admin can automatically enroll users by importing data from a CSV file or from an external data source. Then I'll show how to do enrollment-free self-service by using mail and mobile attributes in AD to send verification codes to end users during password reset. And lastly, track the enrollment status and modes used by the users using built-in reports. So enough talk, and I shall start with the ADSelfService Plus workshop. So this is the ADSelfService Plus homepage, and as you can see, it's a fresh installation. So I'll log in as the admin, and as you can see that I need to add a domain name, so I shall give the domain as SSP child, and I'll add a domain controller. So for that I need to click on discover, and on clicking here to discover DCs, I'm listed with 3 domain controllers, and I'm going to choose the ADSSP-DC2 domain controller. I'll just tick on that and click on add, and within the authentication I'll give in the credentials, that is administrator, and the password. Let me just type that and click on add. So with that, I have successfully added the domain SSP child and the domain controller ADSSP-DC2. So now let's head on to the enrollment part. So for that, you need to go to the configuration tab, that is third from the left, and you see the self-service over here. You can just minimize this and take administrative tools, within which we have the quick enrollment option. So within the quick enrollment, we can see 4 types of enrollment. Now let's consider the first exercise, that is send or schedule notifications to be sent to unenrolled users in the domain. Imagine a corporate environment where the end users are busy with their work schedule. Due to this, they won't realize the importance of enrolling with an ADSelfService Plus unless if they are in a situation where they have forgotten their password or got themselves locked out of their account. But by then, it will be too late and it might end up being a help desk call to the IT desk within the corporate. Thus, they need to be constantly reminded to enroll into the ADSelfService Plus and about the benefits of doing so. And that's why ADSelfService Plus provides the option to schedule notifications to be sent daily or at a convenient time to remind them instead of the administrator doing it himself. So I shall just click on this enrollment notification method, and you can see that you can address to who you want to send it to, and it can be the domain ADSSP child or the policy SSP child, or you can mention it to one particular OU. So I'll just click on this add OUs, and I'm going to expand the OU Tom, within which we have the support OU, and I'll click on OK, and then we can choose the notification type. You can send via email notification or push notification. So for this workshop, I'm going to be using email notification. So I'll just click on that itself. And then we need to configure a mode of communication between the ADSelfService Plus and the user. For that purpose, we need to configure the mail server. So if I click on this, I will be redirected to the admin tab, within which we have the server settings page, and I'll configure the mail settings. So the mail server is the SMTP, the port is 25, the firm address is tomjoes.m at sohocorp.com, and the admin mail address is the same, tomjoes.m at sohocorp.com. And then for the SMTP authentication, I need to head to the advanced settings and given the credentials. So the username is tom-2525, and let me just type the password and click on save. So with that, I have successfully configured the mail settings, and I'll head back to the quick enrollment page. So that is within the configuration tab under the administrative tools, and the first on the list, quick enrollment. And I'll click on the send enrollment notification method. So as you can see, I have configured the mail server, and you can see it mentioned here as SMTP. And now as the administrator, you can choose to configure the subject and the mail content of the mail that is going to be sent to the user. So you can also use the macros mentioned here to make the content more meaningful, and the access URL has to be configured only when the ADSSP product has changed its protocol or the port number. So for me, currently the product is running in HTTP protocol itself along with the port number as 8888. So I'll be leaving it as it is, and I'll be sending the mail now. And now I have received a pop-up that says, are you sure you want to send this message to the user in selected domain? So I'll click on OK. And I believe the mail has been sent to all the users within the support OU who hasn't been enrolled yet. Now I believe I know one such user, so I shall just head over to his Gmail account and see if he's got the mail. So yes, he has got it, and the user was Logan, and this is the message as I had configured, and this is what he'll be seeing. The message says, we have deployed a password self-service tool to help you reset your Windows domain passwords on your own without IT help desk assistance. With this tool, you can manage passwords of various cloud applications and non-Windows systems too. It's very easy to use. All you have to do is enroll yourself by clicking on the link given below to make use of this facility. And the link he needs to click is this to enroll. Alternatively, you can also use your smartphone or tablet to enroll. Learn how to enroll using your mobile, and this is the link he needs to click if he wants to know how to enroll using the mobile. So the user Logan, I'm going to click on this link, and I'm going to domain user login and type in his username, that is Logan, and his password, let me just type that and click on login. And now you can see that I received a pop-up that says that this ADSelfService Plus provides benefits such as password self-service for reset and change password. It also provides self-service account unlock and also self-service directory update. So the self-service directory update is the page you see in the background right here. And if you update the details here, it will be updated in the Active Directory of the user. Then in the second tab, you see the change password, where the user only has to give in his old password and he can change his password. So to enroll these benefits, he needs to enroll. So I'll just click on here and I will be redirected to the enrollment page. And currently we have only one authentication enabled, and this is actually enabled by default, and that is the security question answers authentication method. So I'm going to choose the first question as what is your mother's maiden name? Let me just type that answer. And the second question I'm going to choose as the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. I'll type that answer as well. And note that if you do uncheck this box, then the answer will be displayed, but you need to type the answer only once. So with that being done, I'll just click on enroll and I've successfully enrolled the user. Now I should just sign out, and now imagine a situation if the user Logan forgot his password or due to some circumstances got his account locked down. In that scenario, he can click on either of these links according to his need. So I'll just click on forgot your password and given the username, that is Logan. And now here is where the enrollment comes into play. Now because I enrolled using the security question and answers, I can now authenticate the user Logan by typing in the answers of these questions. So the first question is what is your mother's maiden name? And the answer is mother. The second question is the country you always dreamt of vacationing in. The answer is Spain. And the captcha, that is 3K R H2, and continue. And with that, I have successfully authenticated the user Logan and we are on to the reset password page. So you can see how important enrollment is and how simple life is made easy while trying to reset the password or unlock your account. Now before I reset the password, a few points to remember is on the top right of this page, you can see the time left for this operation. Now by default, it is 5 minutes. And if you do exceed this time, the session will expire and you need to start all over again. Now from the administrative page, you can choose to extend this time or reduce the time according to your needs. Then on the left side, we have the domain password policy requirements, and we need to make sure we type the new password keeping in mind these requirements, and if at all any of these requirements is failed, then the ADSelfService Plus rejects the password. So I'll type in a new password and let me just confirm that. And for the captcha, that is S6 4TE3 and reset. And with that, the password of Logan has been successfully reset. Now this was done successfully by the user Logan enrolling into the ADSelfService Plus using the security question and answers authentication method. Now imagine a user who hasn't enrolled yet but unfortunately forgot his password. In that case, he can be quite a fix. But then we have the second authentication method, and that is the verification code, using which if at all the user has a mail ID or a mobile number already configured within his Active Directory, he can use that to send verification code to it and authenticate himself. So the first thing we need to do is log in as the admin and enable the verification code authentication method. So I'll head over to the configuration tab, and within self-service we have the policy configuration, under which is a multi-factor authentication. Now you can see we have three types of authentication, and you can see that the first one, that is security question and answers, is already enabled, that is basically enabled by default. And now for the verification code, so I shall enable the verification code, and because I'm going to only show the mail part of this in this workshop, I'll be enabling only the email address verification code. And again, the subject and message is customizable, and you can use macros to make your message more meaningful. Now I'll click on save and I'll sign out. And now I believe I have one such user who hasn't enrolled yet, and I'll pretend to be him and forgotten his password. So I'll go to forgot your password link and given the username, that is Brian, and click on continue. And now I have been given the option to send the verification code to the email ID, and this email ID has been basically fetched from the Active Directory by the ADSelfService Plus. And I'll given the captcha now, that is Q2QRB2, and continue. And now I believe the verification code has been sent to his Gmail ID. So I shall head there and see if he's got it, and yes, he has. And this is the message you can see for the user Brian Wesley. And I'm just going to copy the verification code and paste it here. And then the captcha, that is FFOEO5, and continue. And with that, I have successfully authenticated this user as well. And he can just go ahead and reset his password. So I'll just type in the new password and confirm the password as well. And then the captcha, that is DN9OOK, and reset. With that, his password has been reset successfully. So right now I showed you how to enroll the user, how to send the enrollment notification to unenrolled users. And I've shown you the enrollment process via the security question and answers, and also the reset password in such a situation. And then I've shown you how, if at all a user did not enroll into the ADSelfService Plus, how he can reset his password by using the verification code authentication method. And this basically is called the pre-enrollment. Now the next one I'm going to show you is the second type of enrollment, and that is the forced enrollment. So I'll just head over to the forced enrollment method, and you can see that if I enable it, the user, when he logs into his machine, that is the non-enrolled user, if he logs into his machine, he will get a message as a pop-up that says, we see that you are yet to enroll with ADSelfService Plus. Please enroll now to avail yourself of the password self-service. And this is basically how the logon script is configured for that particular user. And again, you can configure the access URL if at all the product of ADSelfService Plus has changed its protocol or port number. And then you can choose the policy to which the enrolled users will belong to. And here is where you search for the non-enrolled users and set up the logon script. So you can make the ADSelfService Plus product search for the users on a duration according to your convenience, such as daily, weekly, monthly, or hourly. And you can also choose the time. So right now the time is 11:53 p.m. and the next available time will be 11:55. So I shall just configure that. And then we have the option over here which forces the users to enroll when they log into the domain. So I'm going to keep it as enabled itself, and I'll click on save. So now, before I show you an example of the forced enrollment, you can see this note over here. It says that enable single sign-on for users to automatically log into the ADSelfService Plus when they click enroll from the forced enrollment pop-up. So let me just click on that. And you can see that I have been redirected to the admin page within which the logon settings. And right now I'm seeing the general tab, and here is where is the enable single sign-on. But you can also see it's kind of grayed out and I'm not able to enable it. And I can see a tooltip that says it's applicable only when hide self-service admin login is enabled. And that option is basically here. So I'll just hide the self-service admin login, and I'm seeing a pop-up that says that right now you have hidden the admin login screen, and if at all you want to access it later, then you can do it by two methods. One being within the tray icon, if you right click, you can click on start client, and the second method being within the login page URL, you can append it with the admin login.cc, like in my example, in my situation, it will be ADSSP-DC2 colon 8888/admin login.cc. Also, if you want to customize the user login page, you can click here. Now, this is not what we require, so I'll just close this and I'll just enable single sign-on now. So to enable single sign-on, we need to configure a computer account as it is mandatory for each domain. So right now for this ADSelfService Plus product, we have only one domain configured, and that is the SSP child. So I shall configure a computer account for that domain. I'll just click on configure now, and given the computer name, that is, I'll give a new computer name that will be workshop-ADSSP and give a number 5, and the password, let me just type that. And since I believe this computer account does not exist in the domain, I'll have to check this box and click on save. So with that, I have successfully enabled the single sign-on, and now I shall be showing you an example of the forced enrollment. So I shall just log in as another user within the machine who I believe has not been enrolled yet, and that user is Tom Joes. Let me just type his password. So this is the pop-up we see, and it says that just as I had configured, the message is, we see that you are yet to enroll with ADSelfService Plus. Please enroll now to avail yourself of password self-service. Now the forced enrollment part of this pop-up basically means that if you can't close it no matter what you try, and if I click on any other options or any of the applications, it will always come in front of it, basically preventing you from doing any other activity until and unless you enroll. So I'll just click on enroll, and now for the single sign-on part, where I was automatically logged in to my user account as Tom Joes because I had enabled the single sign-on. And then everything is just as I had shown for the earlier users. I'm receiving a pop-up that says that I need to enroll. I'll click here and I'm redirected to the enrollment page. And note that earlier when I was enrolling for the user login, there was only the security question authentication. But this time, since I had enabled the verification code authentication as well after that, I have two choices whether to enroll the user with security questions or with the verification code. So I'm going to do with security question itself, and I'm going to choose the first question as what is your mother's name, maiden name, and I'll keep it as mother itself. And the second question being the country you always jumped to vacationing in. I'll keep that answer as Spain and click on enroll. And now I have successfully enrolled the user, and now I'm seeing a pop-up that says click yes to explore self-service options or no to quit. So since I'm done with the enrollment, I'll click on no, and with that the pop-up has been closed, and this is how the forced enrollment works. So let me just close this and head back to the ADSelfService Plus product and go to the configuration tab now, and let's explore the other methods as well. Soon I'll head over to the administrative tools and go to the quick enrollment. So with that, we have covered the first two methods where we force or schedule reminders to non-enroll users to enroll. Now consider the ADSelfService Plus is set up in a corporate where the administrator has data regarding the end users. Then we can use the next two methods where the administrator himself can take up the job of making sure all the users are enrolled. Therefore, instead of waiting for the users to respond to the daily reminders or being forcefully enrolled, he can instead enroll all the users by importing the data from a CSV file, that is this method, or import data from a database, that is this last method. So I'm going to show you the first option, that is the import enrollment data from a CSV file. And here the administrator can export the data from CSV from his database, and you can choose the type of questions he wants. I mean the type of options, whether he wants to give this question and answer, the mobile number and the mail ID, or just the question answer and the mail ID. So in my example, I'll be doing just this. And the policies, since we have only one current policy, I'll keep it as that. And for this particular import, we need to see the sample CSV file. So the sample CSV file is like this. The Samacon name, question, answer, and mail should be as it is, as the header, and the data should be placed accordingly underneath it. So I have an example.csv file, and just like the sample.csv, the Samacon name, question, answer, and mail have been shown as the headers, and the data for the users Harris and Eddie have been placed accordingly underneath it. So it has their questions, their answer, and the mail ID as well. So I shall just choose that file, that is example.csv, and click on enroll. So with that, I've successfully enrolled the users Eddie and Harris. Now you can also choose to schedule the auto enrollment. So if I click on this, you can see right now that there are no schedulers available. So I shall just click on schedule new auto enrollment. And here is where you configure a scheduler for auto enrollment from a CSV file. So the scheduler name, I'm going to give it as CSV enrollment. Description, I'm going to keep it as for workshop purpose. The policy to which the users enrolled will be belonging to will be SSP child itself. And this is the configuration needed, and I'll be importing the mobile number and email ID alone and not the answer. And the sample CSV file for this particular situation will be just the Samacon name, mobile, and mail. And I believe I have a sample file for that, example file for that, and that is for the user Eddie. Now notice that the user Eddie had already been enrolled earlier from this particular example.csv file. So if at all the scheduler works and the user Eddie is again going to go for enrollment, the ADSelfService Plus will not enroll him because he's already enrolled. For that purpose alone, we have this option called override enrollment data if enrolled already. That means even though the user Eddie has already been enrolled, his data will be overwritten the next time the scheduler takes place. And also note that in the enrollment that took place before, only his question, answer, and mail ID was considered, but his mobile number is in this file. So when the enrollment does take place, the mobile number will also be added to the user's enrollment. So I shall give the CSV file path, that is basically within the C drive enrollment folder example-1.csv file. And you can choose a duration. So I shall give it for the next available time, that is in 5 minutes, that's 12:05, and click on save. And with that, I've shown you how the CSV enrollment works and how you can schedule the auto enrollment. And then let's head over back to the quick enrollment page, and we have the last enrollment method, and that is import enrollment data from an external database. So similar to the previous option, here we can import the data from a database, and we can choose from 3 types of databases. One is the Oracle, second is the MS SQL, and if I click on add new data source, we can choose the MySQL data source as well. Now before I do configure the data source, let me show you the MySQL table I have. I basically have a database called employees, within which I have a table called users. The users table contains data, that is employee ID, employee name, mail, and mobile, and the data is for the users Harold, Ross, and Scott. So now I shall connect to this particular database. I'll start with the connection name. I'll give it as database enrollment. The DB server will be MySQL, like I had configured earlier. The host name is Tom-2525. Port is 3306. The DB name is employees. The username is root. And since I don't have a password, it's mentioned here, leave this field empty. So I'll keep it as it is and click on create. With that, I have successfully created the connection. And now for the next part is you need to add a fetcher. Basically, a fetcher fetches the fetches the data according to the query you have given. So I'll add a new fetcher, and the fetcher name will be, I'm giving it as database fetcher. The connection, it will be database enrollment itself, as there's no other connection currently available. Policy is the SSP child, and I'm going to be importing question and answer, mobile number, and email ID. Now you might be wondering, in the data you just saw, there was only the username, the mail, and the mobile number, and there was a question and answer. So in situations like this, you can create a question which can be common to all these users, and the answer will be one of the other columns of the data. So I can make the question as, what is your employer ID? And the answer will be the employer ID column field. So I'll give you the query so that you will understand. It'll be select employee name, and the question will be, what is your employee ID? The answer will be the employee ID column field. Then for the mobile number, the column will be mobile, and for the email ID, the column is mail. And now I need to mention from which table, and that is from users. I'll click on save, and now I should just fetch it and see if it worked, and yes it did. So that means the user Harold will be enrolled with the question, what is your employer ID? And the answer will be this particular employee ID, that is 4285, and his mobile and mail. Similarly, for the users Ross and Scott, it will happen as well. So I should just click on update, and again, these users have been successfully enrolled. Now, similar to CSV enrollment, we have schedulers for this as well, and that is basically the symbol you see here. If you click on this, you can enable the scheduler, and you can put it as a daily, weekly, monthly, or hourly notice, and you can choose a time as well. I'll keep it as done, and I'll head back, and that is how the CSV enrollment works, and CSV enrollment and the enrollment from external database works. So right now, let's recap. I've shown you how to schedule and send enrollment reminders to end users via email. Then I showed you how the enrollment process works and how the end users enroll after receiving the enrollment notification. Then I showed you the pre-enrollment, which is basically the enrollment-free self-service by using the mail or mobile attributes in Active Directory to send verification codes to end users during the password reset. And then I showed you how to force the users into enrolling when they log into the ADSelfService Plus. Then I showed you how the admin himself can enroll the users by importing data from a CSV file or from an external data source. So with that, we have come to the last part of today's agenda, and that is keeping track of the end user's enrollment status using the built-in reports. So I shall head back to the ADSelfService Plus product, and you can see that the second tab we have here is a reports tab, and we have three types of reports: user reports, audit reports, and enrollment reports. So within the user reports, we show the locked out users report, the soon to expire password users report, and the password expired users report. Then within the audit reports, we show reset, unlock, self-update, change password, notification delivery, identity verification, and user attempts audit report. Then we have the enrollment reports, on which I'm going to be focusing on. And if I click on enroll users report, you can see all the users who have been enrolled during this workshop, and I'll tell you which user and how they were enrolled. The user Brian, he was enrolled using the verification code method, and he is enrolled for using his email ID. The user Eddie, he was enrolled using the CSV enrollment. And remember that I first had enrolled him using the example.csv, which contained only his email ID. and after the scheduler occurred, his mobile number also was overwritten in his data. Then the user Harold was enrolled as the database enrollment part, and Harris was part of the CSV enrollment. The user Logan was enrolled in the very beginning as part of the security question answers enrollment. Then the user Ross and Scott were enrolled as part of database enrollment as well. The last one, Tom Jones, was part of the force enrollment, and I had showed you that as well. So you can filter this with security question answers or mail verification code or mobile verification code or Google Authenticator as well. So I'll show you an example. I'll just uncheck the other three and show you which all users have been enrolled for mail verification code, and those are these 6 users. So this is one report, and that is the enrolled users report. And then we have the non-enrolled users report, and this basically shows all the users who have not enrolled yet into the ADSelfService Plus. Then we have the licensed users report, and this basically shows all the users who have either been enrolled or at least logged into the ADSelfService Plus at least once. Then we have the security question answers report, and this shows all the users who have enrolled for security question answers, and it also shows their security questions for Eddie, Harold, Harris, Logan, Ross, Scott, and Tom Jones. Don't worry, the answers are asterisked. And with that, we have come to the end of today's workshop, as I've covered all the said exercises in the agenda. Next session, I will be covering the password expiry notification feature, and this feature is basically in the configuration tab under the self-service, the second one, that is a password expiry. Now this feature basically ensures that the remote users change their passwords before their expiration date by sending notifications in a phased manner. So I thank each and everyone for being such a wonderful audience and being patient with us. Any questions regarding the session can be put in the chat box, to which we will reply immediately, or else if there isn't enough time, we will take it personally offline with you. Also, please take a minute or two to fill up the feedback form mailed to you after the session to let us know your thoughts on today's workshop and any room for improvement. The video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request through the chat or feedback form. I repeat, the video of this workshop will be available online and also shared with you personally on request through the chat or feedback form. Please remember, the registration for this ADSelfService Plus workshop is for the entire series, and a reminder will be sent to you a day before the workshop every week. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all next week. Thank you once again, and a good day to all.